So this lesson's on identifying angles formed by two lines and a transversal. So before we start, the first thing we're going to do is define what a transversal is. And if you look at this diagram, this line here is called a transversal because it's a line that intersects two other lines at 2 points. So when we look at it, we say a transversal is a line that intersects two lines at 2 points. So what we're going to do now is we're going to define the angle relationships and use the diagram to identify the pairs of angles we are referring to. So let's take a look here. First thing we're going to talk about is corresponding angles. So if I look at this and I highlight the transversal, okay, when we define what corresponding angles are, we say these are non-adjacent angles on the same side of the transversal, one interior, one exterior. What angles do you think those would be? Well, if I go to the left side of the transversal here, non-adjacent means they can't touch each other. So if I go to the interior angle 5, what angle is exterior and on the same side and doesn't touch it? It's angle 1. So we would say angle 1 and angle 5 are corresponding angles. Now, we could also have another pair. If I use angle 7, it's exterior. What's an interior angle that doesn't touch it, right? It would be angle 3. So angle 3 and angle 7 would be another pair. Next, if I go to angle 2, what angle corresponds with angle 2? It would be angle 6. They're on the same side, one exterior, one interior, and they don't touch each other. So angle 2 and angle 6. Last, we have angle 4 is interior and angle 8 is exterior. So we would say angle 4 and angle 8 are a pair of corresponding angles. Okay, so it's very important before the next lesson that you understand these relationships. Next one. Now that we have that, right, we're going to highlight alternate interior angles again, or the transversal again, and now we're going to move on to alternate interior angles. So these are angles that are on opposite sides of the transversal, and they're both interior. So if I look at angle 3, what angle is on the opposite side of the transversal and, right, interior? We would say angle 6. Okay, and again, we also have to say that these are non-adjacent angles. They cannot touch each other. So angle 3 and angle 6 would be alternate interior angles. Now, we could also go and say that angle 4 and angle 5 are alternate interior angles. So now when we talk about alternate exterior angles, right? What are these? Well, these are non-adjacent angles, meaning they don't touch each other, that are on opposite sides of the transversal and both exterior. So if I go to one exterior angle, so angle 1, what angle doesn't touch angle 1 and is on the opposite side of the transversal and also exterior? That would be angle 8. So angle 1 and angle 8 are alternate exterior. If I look at it, the next pair, it'd be angle 2 and angle 7 are alternate exterior. Same side interior. Now, when we talk about same side, right, when we define these, we're going to define these as angles that are on the same side of transversal and they're both interior. So if this is my transversal, know and understand that both are interior. Remember, these are interior. So 3 and 5 would be the angles. Angle 3 and angle 5 are same side interior angles because they're both on the same side of the transversal and both are interior. What would another pair be then? Well, angle 4 and angle 6 are on the same side of transversal and both interior. So we would say angle 4 and angle 6. Now, same side exterior, very similar, right? We say same side exterior are same side of transversal, both exterior. So, same side 1 is exterior, same side 7 is exterior. So angle 1 and angle 7. And the last one, what is same side exterior with 2? It would be 8. So again, before we move on to the next lesson, you really need to know how to identify these angles. So let's look at some examples here. Describe the angle relationship. When we say describe the angle relationships, we're going to say, are they corresponding? Are they alternate interior? Oh, are they same side interior? And we could also incorporate exterior with both of those. So let's look at the first one, angle 1 and angle 2. If you look at angle 1 and angle 2, I have two lines cut by a transversal. You guys have to identify this is the transversal. Angle 1 is interior, angle 2 is interior, right? Are those on the same or opposite sides of the transversal? They're on the opposite side of the transversal, and they're both interior, which means these would be alternate interior angles. Okay, the next one, when I look at 3 and 4, here's 3, here's 4. Where's my transversal? My transversal is right here. So right away, 3 and 4 are on opposite sides of the transversal, and these are both exterior. So we would say that these are alternate exterior angles. Now, the next one, 5 and 6. So if I look, what line crosses both lines? This line here. So this here is my transversal. So if I look at 5 and 6, are they on the same side of transversal or opposite sides? They're on the same side of this transversal. And if I look, they're both in between the lines, so they're interior. So same side of the transversal, and they're both interior, which makes these same side interior angles. Okay. So the next one, use the diagram to name all of the angle relationships. So if I identify the transversal right away, that's this line here. We have different angle relationships going on here. So if I look at 1 and 4, if I take 1 and I take 4 and I ignore everything else, these are on the same side. If I ignore the bottom part, so if I were to ignore this bottom part and basically erase it and focus on that, notice what we have here. Same side of transversal, one exterior, one interior. Those would be corresponding angles. Okay? So now when I look at 5 and 8, so if I highlight 5, here's 5, here's 8. Now again, here's my transversal. 5 and 8 are on the opposite side of the transversal, and they are both, right? If I look at both of those, they're in between these two lines, so they're interior. So we would say that those are alternate interior angles. 7 and 10, right? These, if you look, they don't have a relationship, right? They're basically just vertical angles. That's something you learned earlier this year. 4 and 9. So again, for 4 and 9, if I were to ignore this upper part and just focus on the diagram here, notice what I get here, 4 and 9. Here's 4, here's 9. They are on opposite sides of the transversal. This is exterior, that's exterior. Alternate exterior angles. Okay, 1 and 9. Ignore the middle part here. So you're ignoring all of this here. If you cover it up, right? What do I notice here? 1 and 9, opposite sides of the transversal, both exterior. So those are alternate exterior angles. 2 and 6. Here's 2, here's 6. Again, we're going to ignore the bottom part here. If I look there, these are same side of the transversal. This is interior. This is exterior. They don't touch. So those are corresponding angles. Okay. And then if I look at 6 and 7, right away, they're opposite sides of the transversal. This is interior. This is interior. So those are alternate interior angles. Now, 6 and 10. Here's 6, here's 10. Same side of transversal. This angle's interior. This angle's exterior. If I look at that, those would be corresponding angles. All right. Now the next one. The one thing you guys have to know is if I put an arc in an angle and an arc in an angle. Notice how this arc touches this line and this arc touches the same line. That means this here is your transversal. And if I highlight the other lines, if I highlight this line and I highlight this line, now I can see that these two angles are both on opposite sides of the transversal and they're both interior. So we would say that those are alternate interior angles. 3 and 4, they have no relationship with the transversal. So we're just going to say that those are your vertical angles. All right. When I look at the next one, angle 1 and angle 2, these here, no relationship that we're referring to with parallel or with two lines in a transversal. So we're going to say that those are a linear pair. They add up to 180 degrees. Now the next one, if I look at this one, put an arc here. I'm going to put an arc here. Now, this arc touches this line. This arc touches this line. So this here is my transversal. 3 is exterior. 4 is interior because we're using this line and this line as my other two lines. So what do those give us? Corresponding angles. Okay. Highlighting and drawing on the diagram will help you tremendously. Okay. So do me a favor. Go ahead to the student practice and let us know if you have questions.